And there's the instant sleep. One hit. Good night, sweet prince. Okay, so if you want to inflict status effects, this weapon will make you insane with glee. It's got just 0.5% chance of dropping though, which is very small. Here's where to find it. Say hello to the Ripple Crescent Halberd. Minuscule drop rate, massive damage. Now, it's one of the very few arcane scaling weapons that can be buffed. This means that you can use greases to inflict loads of different status effects. We're talking sleep, poison, freeze, fire, you know, all the good stuff. The arcane scaling of this weapon actually increases status effect build up as well as damage, and the fact you can upgrade the halberd to have an S rating in arcane, which is the highest possible rating, means that you'll be causing status effects on almost every hit. So for example, if you put sleep grease on your halberd, your enemies will go to sleep as fast as if you just flung 100 sleep pills down their gob. But we'll get into all that in just a bit. Before we do, here's how to first get yourself a Ripple Crescent Halberd. The best farm that I've found to get this a very elusive halberd is here at Liurnia of the Lakes. The site of grace is called Fallen Ruins of the Lake. Now from here, head east for about 10 seconds until you get to these ruins. Once at these ruins, there are 3 Albinaurics you can kill. These Albinauric enemies, they each have a chance of dropping the weapon. All 3 are carrying this weapon. So that fact alone means that this farming spot basically gives you 3 shots to get the Ripple Crescent Halberd rather than 1, which is what you normally get with weapon farms. There are 2 Albinaurics at the base of the ruins and a 3rd one at the top. Kill these on repeat, then fast travel back until you get the weapon. The other reason this farm is so good is because the Albinaurics are so damn easy. They're so slow, like they react like they've just woken up. And if they do manage to hit you, it means absolutely nothing. You can do that all day, mate. But don't let that fool you, because the weapon they drop is really, really powerful. So keep grinding away until the halberd drops. To speed up the process even more, I recommend maxing out your arcane, as of course, the arcane stat determines how regularly items drop. Now I'll tell you some useful facts about item discovery if you didn't know already. So the maximum amount of discovery you can possibly have in Elden Ring is 3 to 4. It starts at 100 by default and goes up 1 level for every level you have in your arcane stat. So if you have 99 arcane, your item discovery will be 199. Now, here's how to max out your discovery. So first, if you haven't already, max out your arcane to 99. Then you can add a further 8 from wearing the silver tier mask. Then you can make sure you're holding the silver scarab talisman. This raises your arcane by 76. After that, also hold the Marika's Sword Seal talisman to boost your arcane stat and consume an arc while holding Godric's Great Rune. And to add a further 50 onto your item discovery, consume a silver pickled Falfoot. The effect of this lasts for 3 minutes. Just remember not to fast travel when using it, or the effect will go away. You can rest at a site of grace and have the effects still remain though. Just remember to ride your horse back to the site of grace rather than fast traveling to it. If you did want a quick way of farming the ingredients for the Falfoot, I recommend doing a loop of this island. This is a really handy island. There are tons of birds perched on the cliffs all around the island, and you can take out a few at once. This gets you the 4-toed Falfoot ingredient, and then you can craft as many feet as you want. I recommend for this farm 10 should be enough. With all that done, we should now have an easier time of getting the halberd. Skip. And look at that in all its ripply glory. But how do we use it, and how do we upgrade it and wring every bit of power we can out of it? Let's have a look. So as mentioned, this is one of the few arcane scaling weapons that can be buffed. So you can use all of your greases on this weapon. Arcane scaling increases status effect and build up as well as damage. Buff the halberd with, say, poison grease, and because of the high arcane scaling, you'll give your enemies insta diseases in literally a swing or two. This weapon and the Ripple Crescent Axe are the only arcane scaling weapons that can be buffed that I know of. I might be wrong about that. Let me know in the comments if I am, but I'm pretty sure that is the case. Now you can see how fast I'm poisoning this dragon here, or it almost makes you feel sorry for it. That is getting poisoned very quickly, and now its health, as you can see, it's constantly going down. This guy needs a hospital. Anyway, let's try a different grease. We'll give the sleep grease a go. Sleep grease, or soporific grease as it's called in the game, is super powerful on the Ripple Crescent Halberd. It makes this blade even better than Saint Trina's sword at putting things to sleep. So if you want to make people sleep in Elden Ring, this is absolutely the quickest possible way to do it. Enemies weak to sleep in the game include Albinaurics, beasts of the Farum Azula, and trolls. Also, if you're having trouble with the Godskin bosses, a weapon like this with sleep effects makes the fight so easy, it's basically broken. Okay, let's try poison next. Light sleep poison scales with arcane, so you can poison enemies quicker and your poison will do more damage. I love using this against dragons. Dragons are weak to poison, so they get poisoned really quickly, but if you're running a poison build, you could boost your poison damage even more with talismans and, depending on what you're wearing. So things like the mushroom helm, for instance. Other greases you can try are freeze grease and fire grease. I do love spreading some fire. Now, one grease that unfortunately won't be boosted by this weapon is blood grease. You would think, hey, this weapon scales with arcane, blood scales with arcane. This is going to make enemies bleed so much, but no, the devs probably clocked this and made it so there's no difference to using blood grease on this weapon. Which is fine, to be honest, it's already good enough. Other great qualities of this weapon. Okay, look at that, the massive range. Look how far away you can be while hitting enemies. Love that for me. One final thing, if you did need more greases, you can craft them yourself. If you've not really experimented with greases before, it's cool, there's no limited quantity of them. You can just find the right cookbook and you can unlock the crafting recipes for yourself. For example, I'll give you the location of the sleep grease cookbook, because that's my favorite grease. Just go to this place and buy the cookbook, and then you can craft the sleep grease. The difference between standard grease and drawstring grease is that the standard grease has 33 power and lasts 60 seconds, while drawstring grease is significantly more powerful at 42 seconds, so it will get to work a bit quicker but only lasts for 15 seconds, and that's the difference between those two. So that's the Ripple Crescent Halberd, a very rare and surprisingly versatile weapon. Other weapons might lock you into playing a certain way or are completely non-buffable, but not the Ripple Crescent Halberd. A true blade for greasy boys. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. I would massively appreciate that. And for more Elden Ring videos, subscribe to the channel.